performance measure we look at is that school and district sites will implement family school community practices that help families make a connection to their children's learning. So a lot of what our VISTAs do are implementing different programs, activities, events that are bringing parents and families into the schools and connecting it to learning and to student achievement, rather than always sort of like the social potluck kind of thing. So kind of making that connection to learning happen is really important. Our VISTAs, when they're working on these activities, they're also, as we talked about, trying to develop an action team and to get that committee and that team starting so that the ATP, the action team, can eventually take over the planning, the implementation of all of these practices. Then when the VISTA is gone, these things will keep happening with the action team.
And there's just a multitude of examples that we could give you because all of our VISTAs do really great things. But one really great, unique example is at Senate Middle School. Our VISTA there created a book group, and they read the book Beyond the Bake Sale. It's all about family partnerships and different ways to get schools doing family partnerships. And the staff had this book group, and they just discussed and did a book study, really, and really, went into parent involvement and how they could improve their own school. Oh.
Well, we'll go back.
Okay.
At Mitchell Elementary in Milwaukee, our VISTA, Kristen, she worked with some parents to create focus groups, parent focus groups. And the point of it was really just to talk about what parents want for their children and how the parents themselves could do something to make those things happen. It started out small. I think there were about 5 people to begin with. They had a few more, and the numbers kept increasing. The majority of these parents that came to her focus groups were Spanish-speaking parents. And they started the dialogue, and things were good. Some of the suggestions that they gave started to be implemented. So they had wanted a suggestion box kind of in the office so that parents could just slip their suggestions in there. That came out of that focus group, and the school made it happen. The parents also talked about they wanted to have a space to do some craft time, to do some of their crafts together. And from this focus group, the parents decided, okay, we're going to do it. They booked some space in the school. The next week, they were there making their crafts, and it was all parent-led. So that's pretty exciting.
And then with the Wausau School District, they have a district-level kind of involvement team, and one of the events that they did was World Day of Snowman, which I don't know if any of you have ever heard about, but it is a celebrated World Day of Snowman. And the VISTA happened to stumble upon that, and they just kind of ran with it. And they had the event on a Saturday out at their school forest, and they invited Title I families to come, and they focused it on science. So they had some science demonstrations, some different science activities for families to do outside together.
Our last example of a great partnership activity is here in Madison at Midvale Elementary, the Intercambio program. Katrina, our VISTA, she collaborated with the school district and with Literacy Network to provide English classes for adults and also Spanish classes for adults. So the adults would come to the school, the parents would come, they would have separate English and Spanish classes for the first hour. The second hour of the class, they would come together and have a conversation partner to practice their new language skills. They did it the entire year. They offered childcare. They had a celebration at the end, which you can see their picture. It was a really great success. The parents loved it. They were able to meet new people who they might not normally be able to converse with due to the language, and also sharing those cultural traits as well. So, okay. Oh, these are some more quotes. The first one, World Day of Snowman. I'm so glad you offer experiences like these to families. It was a wonderful day. The volunteers were friendly and informative.
And then from the book group, the more that I read, the more that I feel that parent involvement is the most important thing for student success. And that was a staff member that was a part of the book group.